my father always advised us. He was
Yeah.
always talking to us, telling us stories
Mm.
from when he was in Saudi, when he was in Bangladesh, and how the times were
Mm.
different. He would always tell us things, even
Yeah.
how he was with his own dad.
Ah.
But it's not what he said that I'm very similar to my dad, by the way. The way I
Yeah.
think, the way I
Yeah.
talk, the way even
Yeah.
the way I look. If you saw my father's picture, you'll see that we're very much alike.
Ah.
It's
Okay.
it's the way he lived, the way he dealt with things, the
Okay.
way he reacted.
Yeah.
And yes, 100%, there was negatives as well, which I
Yeah.
wouldn't take on because
Yes.
I think that's what we're meant to do, anyways.
Mm.
It's the way he dealt with things, be it his reactions. It's
Yeah.
what he showed with his actions and the
Okay.
way he worked hard. So from a young age, I actually think, you know what? And it's an odd thing because at that time, I've been mature from a young age. I would think,
Yeah.
I want to become a father. And
Yes.
it's because I saw the respect in being a father because everyone respected my dad. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
not just out of fear, yes, we're scared of our dad, but
Yeah.
everyone sort of respected him because of the position and the hard work he done.
The
So
credibility.
it's not always what he said, it's what he showed through his actions, I would say. That's what shaped
Okay.
me, my father today.
Yeah. Got you. And see the things that you've picked up from your dad. So that's gone into your own marriage. Has that worked well? What's that like, bro? I mean, what's the sort of feedback that you get from your own children? Like, so when you are raising them, you're parenting them. What does that look like, bro?
So like I said, our
Yeah.
fathers, they came from a different generation.
Yeah.
They had different standards.
Yeah.
They grew up in a different generation. They grew up in Bangladesh in a village, you know.
Ah,
So
yeah.
yes, there is things we'll take from them.
Yeah.
There's ideas we'll take from them,
Yeah.
but they may not have the a more, how do I say it in the best way to put it? They
Yeah.
didn't probably have a academic approach to things. They didn't have
Yes.
the information that we do, like this understanding of gentle parenting. Now,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
he wrong to give me a smack across my face when
Yeah.
he did?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
No.
For
No.
me at that time, probably it was needed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, I grew up in a different generation as well. My kids are growing up in a different generation. So I can't
Yeah.
do the same to them where I just smack them across the face when
No.
they've
No.
done
Cool. Yeah.
something
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
silly.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I get that.
so to your question,
Yeah.
so discipline was needed. And I
Yes.
took that from my dad that, you know what, he disciplined me and he actually done me good. Okay, I have to discipline my kids as well, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to smack them across the face or
No. No. No.
whatever it
Yeah. Yeah.
is. I
Yeah. I
can
get that, bro.
discipline them, but in a
Yeah.
more different way, and which I do,
But
and
let me hold you there. Okay, so Mike, what does your discipline look like towards your own kids? Because you've obviously had it hands on, and I can totally relate to that because I'm from that era as well, bro. So, how do you go about disciplining your kids? What does that look like? So that they're misbehaving, how do you reprimand them? What does that look like, bro?
you might laugh, but
Uh,
it's so my discipline is very
yeah,
strong. So if they're fighting or something or they've been
yeah,
something out of order, remember I don't feel that kids need discipline in everything. Yes, there's discipline. I'm very strict, but kids need to be kids. They will mess
yeah,
around. They will drop stuff. They will throw paint everywhere. That's their job. My job
yeah,
is to make sure clean it up. That's it. But obviously, everyone needs to know. Even the kids need to know that there is a boundary to everything. When they
mm,
cross that line, okay, what's going on? All right,
yeah,
my thing is put your hands up. So stand in your place, put your hands up
yeah,
until you realize what's going on. Okay, they realize. Okay, a minute later, do you understand what happened? Do you realize what you've done wrong? Yep. Okay, make sure they start. That's it, and they get the message. It doesn't have to be necessarily, me hitting them because
yeah,
we're in a different time. Like I said, it's not necessarily because what the law says and that. It's
yeah,
more like hitting and shouting doesn't always work. And not only that, I'm teaching them through my actions, just like I learned from my dad's actions. If I shout,
yeah,
their first reaction to something is going to be to shout. Or
mm,
if I become panicking, if they drop water all over or juice or something, and I
yeah,
panic, a lot of stuff we do, even you and myself, we
yeah, yeah,
do
bro.
is learned
Yeah,
behavior.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they're also learning. It's not necessarily, so we obviously picked up things from
Yeah.
our culture, our society, our parents, our elders,
Yeah.
and straight away we are inclined to react the same way. But
Yeah.
obviously now we're more conscious. We have more understanding, more, more power in our hands. The world is in our hands, literally. We have books, we
Yeah.
have, literature that we can refer to see ways of doing things better. So obviously,
Yeah.
there's no point having that knowledge and that all the information if we're not actually implementing it.
That's right, bro.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, okay. But so like sometimes when I'm trying to raise my own children, I'm trying to discipline them. All of those things that you've mentioned, there's days when I react. There's days when I'm calm. There's days like it's never the same. But I try to be from now what I've learned along the way of parenting. I try to maintain just to be neutral, and that's calm, and just watch my tone, my facial expression, my body language, how that comes across. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? It's all these little
Can I
little
say
micro.
something?
Yeah, go on, bro. Tell me.
You see, there's a couple of things we need to take into consideration. Yes, we're trying out gentle parenting. It works,
Yeah,
fair enough. It has benefits,
yeah, yeah.
but it could also have negative impact on the child. For example,
Give me an
my
example. Yeah,
my anger or my frustration towards my kids, or when they want to see dad is angry, or Baba is
yeah.
angry, or Baba is upset, it's very calculated. Like
Okay.
I'm quite controlled, with my
Yeah,
emotions, and So when I need to make sure they face a bit of my frustration as well. They face a bit
yeah.
of my anger. They know that okay, this guy has emotions, or he's gonna
Yes.
get angry. The
Got
issue
it.
is if I'm always being soft with my kids, I'm
Yeah.
always being nice to them. Obviously, they're still small. I'm not gonna be. There is a limit to everything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when my son grows up after a certain age, he needs to experience some level of harshness. I'll explain that. It sounds
Yeah.
bad, but I'll explain that.
No, 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 not
If
at all,
he,
bro. Not at all. Go on.
if he doesn't face any sort of criticism, any sort of harshness, any sort of, uh, let's leave it at harshness from me
Yeah.
at home, he's going to
Yep.
go out there tomorrow and his manager, his boss, is going to be harsh with him. He's going to go
Yeah.
out there into the world and people are going to swear at him. I'm not saying I'm going to
Yeah.
swear at my son, but
Yeah.
he needs to be ready for that. If he's not had that that
Yeah.
sort of experience of, okay, someone who's higher up, this is how they can be,
Yeah.
then mollycoddling only makes the child, continuous mollycoddling makes the
Yeah.
child very weak, actually. Because they
Yeah.
don't face the reality. They're not facing, okay, this is how the world is outside. Now, if I have always been nice, super nice to my kids, never disciplined them, never told them off, never been harsh with them, they're gonna go
Yeah.
out there. No, they're not ready for the world. I know, we've lived life. When you
Yeah.
go out
Yeah.
and work for someone, he's gonna
Yeah.
call you the G word. He's gonna call you the F word. If
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not ready for that, if I had never had that experience, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, what's going on? I didn't expect that. Why is this guy being so rude to me? Oh, I didn't do something. My dad never told me off. But why is this guy telling me off? So my telling
Yeah.
off, when I tell off my kids, it's more, what's the word? It's more calculated.
Reprimanding. Okay.
Reprimanding in a calculated way.
Yeah.
Because
Got you.
I need them to understand, yes, you will throw juice. Okay, Baba, it's okay. Baba will clean it. But
Yeah.
time to time, guys, what's going on? You need to be careful next time. I told you about this. There needs to be a bit of both. There needs to be a balance where there's times, okay, they get told off, and there's times, you know what, it's fine. It's okay. We'll clean it together. Go and grab this. I'll help you. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
needs to be calculated
Yeah.
in every way. Even the disciplining needs to be calculated. Even our harshness, I feel that it needs to
Yeah.
be calculated that, okay, when they go out there into the world, they're not completely innocent per se. They
Yeah.
know that there are
Definitely.
people who are going to be harsh to them in the outside world as well.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So in regards to what you've just said, something occurred to me now. Okay. So how do you build up that level of awareness where you're able to regulate yourself, where the reactions that you're doing don't turn abusive? So it's not. So your reactions are they're calculated, yes, but also sometimes, especially for the era that we're from, where like our parents are just reactive like that, bro. So how do we build up that awareness where we're able to control our emotions and just give the necessary medication to our kids, the certain amount of discipline to our kids? How do we even raise our awareness like that, bro? Did you go through some kind of training, or is it something that you just figured out along the line that
See,
when
when you started working out,
yeah, bro,
when you started working out, initially, how
yeah,
much do you used to bench press?
yeah,
Initially,
there's
how
about
much?
30 40 kilos, yeah, bro.
30, 40.
Yeah,
And how much do you do now?
so about 100.
100. So you
Yeah,
gradually went up.
yeah,
In
yeah,
one
but
day, if you tried to lift 100, you would have probably broken your bones. It
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
work.
absolutely, yeah,
So
yeah,
everything, even
yeah,
parenting, even marriage, I'm talking about
yeah,
myself.
yeah, bro.
From what I was to what I am is night
Yeah.
and day different in 10, nearly 11 years down the line.
Okay.
The relationship I have, the approaches I take when she's
Yeah,
upset, the way I used to deal with it before, the way I deal with it now. So even as a parent, we're not a ready. We're not a ready product. We'll
yes,
always be developing. I
yeah,
have weaknesses now, things I do certain ways. I question it. You know what? I need to work on this. You'll never be 100%. I mean, if
no,
you
no,
think,
no,
you know what, I'm a very good parent, I'm the most perfect parent in the world,
yeah,
then you're already done. You're definitely going to be a failed parent. And not only
mm,
that, you stop learning because you
yeah,
already decided that everything you're doing is already perfect.
yeah,
So you always have to keep that in mind that, look, I need to be mindful of, it's going to be a gradual thing that you're
yeah,
mindful of your actions, you're mindful of uh, the way you react. That's what they're going to learn from. They're going to pick up on your actions. They're going to become what you are. So
yes,
if
of
you're
course,
mindful of
yeah,
these things over time,
yeah,
obviously you're going to better yourself. You're going to better, like, as I don't know about you, I don't come from a very strictly practicing family.
same, bro,
And
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
at one point,
yeah,
we started practicing in the sense that
yeah,
we started learning, then going to classes, going to sheikhs, listening to lectures, reading books.
yeah.
Slowly, we became what we became. But does that mean we've become perfect Muslims now? That
Nah,
we have been, Allama
yeah,
and Shaykh al-Islam? No, we're still learning and we have
yeah,
much more to learn. The more you learn, you understand. There's so much to learn.
yeah,
So it's the same with parenting as well. When it comes to building that discipline of how you're going to be with your kids and how you're going to discipline them, how you're going to show love to them, how you're going to become friends to them,
yeah, man,
it's going to be something you're going to pick up over time. Gradually, you'll build
yeah.
on it.
But bro, do you think it's a conscious effort because you have decided to work on yourself? So whatever you're gonna learn, that you're gonna try to improve. So do you also think it's about, okay? So I've decided, I've made that intention that actually I do want to become better. So wherever I do, I'm gonna learn and improve and make those adjustments as I go along the way, rather than just going through the momentum of parenting. When you're just going through autopilot, that you're coming in and out of work, you're stressed, you're coming home, and all you want to do is just put up your feet, unwind, and then you're just too exhausted. Rather, if you were like that, you've made a conscious effort to actually, down to get better and better. So it's just, would you say a person has to make that conscious initial intention, the niyyah, to become better?
Everything starts with intention. If you don't have the correct intention,
Yeah,
then you don't know where you're going because you don't have a set goal. If your goal is that, look, do you know what? I want to make something out of my kids.
yeah,
Or you could just say, you know what, I'm going to provide for them, they're going to live and they're going to become okay, and that's it. Look, it's
yes,
each to their own. Some people have
mm,
different goals in life.
yeah,
You could become another parent that just, you
yeah.
know what, I provide for my kids, Boroida, they become big. Sorry, I don't know if we're doing this in Bengali English. Um,
Mix it up, bro.
so they,
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
um, they'll just grow up and that's it.
Yeah,
Or what you want something out of your kids, meaning you want them to be doing well in life and do
yeah,
well in the akhirah. So you work on them. And what you said about autopilot, you can be on autopilot mode, or you
yeah,
can be someone who uses the tools available in this day and age, especially. The fact that we're able to sit here and talk about these issues
Yeah, man.
miles away, and you're actually providing something that is actually missing in our society. You actually hit a niche there. I don't know if you
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
this
I
sort
do,
of
bro.
stuff is
Yeah,
very important
very,
because,
very.
and we have the tools out there. Like there's a book I read called Boy Crisis. I don't know if you heard of this book. One of my
No,
most favorite books, bro. Trust me, you won't
yeah.
regret reading The Boy Crisis. It's by Warren Farrell, and the
Okay.
statistics and the information there is in there
Yeah,
about the importance of fathers, especially. It emphasized
yeah,
the guy, he used to be a feminist speaker for governments in the past. And then he saw
okay.
the niche or the what's missing out there in the world is the
Yeah.
lack of importance of fathers. And
Yep.
and
Agree.
that sort of area. And he started a movement. And I actually genuinely thought this project that you're doing at the moment, I genuinely thought you would have picked up from me. I was thinking about it, I didn't say it to you because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has these projects that he promotes. Um,
Um,
I would highly recommend the Boy Crisis. So these
the boy.
tools are out there. There's
Yeah,
parenting books out there. There's courses out there.
yeah, yeah,
There's workshops out there. You're technically doing a workshop at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah,
People
yeah.
like you who are in that field, who have the concern. If I
Yes.
tomorrow, or if a parent tomorrow, they see this video that this
Yeah,
man, he wants to do something about the fathers, about the father-son
yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
Okay, I'm having an issue with my son. He's going
yeah,
out there doing drugs. He's going out there joining the gang. Okay,
yeah,
Mehbooba, what do I do? And
yeah,
that's where people like yourself come into place. So these sort of tools, people like you are out there who are
yeah,
ready to help, ready to advise. So there's no reason why we should be on autopilot
yeah,
because we have the tools out there, we have the help out there who we can become better parents, learn about disciplining kids, learn about how to become friends with them, learn
yeah.
about how to deal with kids and how to deal with teenagers, because it's all different. Because dealing with the child is different than dealing with a teenager. Dealing with a teenager is
Absolutely.
different than a
Yeah, yeah,
child
yeah,
you have who's married and he's married with he's living with his wife and kids. Because I've had questions where
yeah.
mother is asking me,
Mm.
my I'm having these issues and I'm having issues with my daughter-in-law and my son. And I said, you know what? The issue is I'm not an expert on this. So I may
Yeah,
say things based on the little you tell me. So it's better that you speak to an expert I recommended some people. So
yeah.
I get people asking me these questions as well. So because it's not the same. It's not the same as
No.
dealing with a child and dealing with a grown boy.
100% it's not, bro. And bro, the thing is, see, all of those points that you've touched on, it is so important because you know what? When I actually came into the marriage, fortunately I was from a coaching background, so I had that head start. But not everyone has these kind of knowledge. And then the other thing as well, bro. Yes, that there's books out there, there's knowledge out there, but what I've come to realize now is when people see and hear more conversations, they want to see more real life, dialogues between us. It makes it more real. It makes it more urgent than just, theory based things that are just on the internet, left, right, and center. It has a different dynamic. It has a different effect. When we are talking, we're talking from like raw and real experiences. And that's what I've come to realize, bro, because you're right, knowledge is out there. So if knowledge is out there, why are we going out there and getting it and implementing it? Um, so there's a little gap there, bro, because we're surrounded by abundance of knowledge. So okay, so why aren't we learning these things? Because maybe we don't really know where to go in terms of, okay, there's so much out there. Where do we start? What do we need to learn? What are the fundamentals? What is step one? What is step two? It's all over the place, bro. What I've come to realize is things need structure. Like
100%.
if I were to conclude some things, bro, the essentials about just communicating and bonding, I would say to a lot of people before they even get married. For example, what I've come to realize now, after 15 years into BR, is to learn about emotional regulation, learn
Mm.
about conflict management, learn about just how to communicate, just those little fundamental things, bro, that can go a long way. And when I got married myself, bro, sorry, I'm just like sort of
Yeah, go for it.
going off the tangent and that, yeah. But so when I got married, bro, I had a long list of my wife should be this, she needs to have and then but then when you get married, you realize it's not like that. You're dealing with someone who's raw and real, and you have to mold and you have to change, and you have to just adjust and develop yourself and make those tweaks. But no one taught me these sort of things, bro. Like you, I was learning as I was going along, bro. I was making hundreds of mistakes, bro. So I totally resonate with what you're saying as well, bro. It's where do we even start? What I've come to realize now is we need structure, we need guidance, because there's too much out there now, bro. It's
Mm.
ridiculous, and it's out. And you're right, bro. It's at our fingertips. But it's just okay. It's so sad, is because we got so much abundance of knowledge, it actually loses its value. Because I can get knowledge at a click of a button now. I'm like, okay, but I don't see the value in it. The only thing I see is if I'm going through a problem, I need to get that solution through attaining a specific knowledge that can help me remedy this problem that I'm going through. So yeah, it's and that's where we come in. When we start talking and we have these dialogues, bro, it makes it more and more real. And yeah, sorry, bro, I just went off the tangent. Back to you, bro. Sorry, yeah, you were saying, bro. Sorry.
No, one thing you said, it actually was just I was just thinking based on what you were saying that
Yeah,
how in a marriage you learn things over time, and traditionally we which is there's certain levels of it that's needed. However, traditionally we are taught to be just, I'm the man,
yeah,
my say goes, which is fair
yeah,
enough. Do you know what?
yeah,
There is a structure that Allah put in. You can't deny
yeah,
that. Allah made the man the leader of the house, which is
yes,
fine. But
yeah,
in this day and age, there's things you need to take into consideration
yeah,
that
yeah,
these girls or these women that we have in our houses as our wives,
yeah.
we can't necessarily be with them how our fathers were with our mothers,
No,
because
no,
they
yeah,
came from a different generation. Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? These girls, they grew up in a different generation. Obviously, girls who were born here, they were born
yeah,
here. Our mothers were born in back home. They lived in a village environment. It's different.
yeah.
So there is a thing that I said to one of my friends is that you can't always be an alpha in the house. Sometimes you
No,
need to be an alpha. Sometimes you need
yeah,
to be a beta. Sometimes you need
yeah.
to be you have to have a mix of
Yeah,
everything to have a
I get that.
successful relationship.
Yeah, no,
Because
I get
otherwise it
that.
doesn't work. If you're always like, yep, I'm the man of the house, what I say
Yeah,
goes, it doesn't work. Sometimes you just have to, okay, yep, okay, all right.
yeah.
Just have to take it.
And that will come because, bro, that sounds like wisdom from experience, like where you're able to
It is.
tweak things, isn't it, bro? It's like like I'll give you an example. I will always have a base character, but like say for example, if I'm angry, that would be my base character. But I also need to know, like what you said, how to switch it up. I need to be soft sometimes. I need to, just give in. There's nothing wrong with that, bro. But yeah, it's just maintaining like a base. See what I'm saying?
But
But yeah, I
you
get
know
that,
what I
bro.
feel? In this
Go
day and
on.
age, I feel people go to one or the other extremes when it
Yeah,
comes to these sort of stuff. So you'll have
yeah,
someone saying, I'll quack quack for my wife, which never happening. Or you'll
yeah,
have someone who is all about just being harsh and nasty and being cruel. So
yeah,
there needs to be a balance where, do you know what? There's times
yeah,
I put my foot down and it needs to be as black and white. And there's
yeah,
times, you know what? It's not an issue. It's not about my ego. It's also I'm dealing with a human who has emotions. If she
yeah,
said something, I could just, not say nothing out of it. Probably she'll regret it later anyways and come back.
yeah,
So it's finding that balance basically.
yeah.
And that is, and the balance is, reality of it is the balance is Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
So that's not, yeah,
When we talk to Christians, sometimes they say, we'll say that Prophet Muhammad, they'll say, oh, how can Prophet Muhammad be? I come from a street dawah background, so I get a lot of these examples. So we'll give them an example how Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a higher degree of a prophet in that sense than any other prophets. And we'll say that, he was a husband and Jesus was not a husband, for example. And so
Yeah.
even he taught us when even how to be a husband, because Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that I have not left, the Sahaba said, sorry, that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said something to us about everything, even the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and everything in between. So do you think our Prophet, Islam, the deen we say is a complete way of life, he didn't teach us or that how to be a good father, how to be a good
No, of
husband?
course.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course.
And put in all the information and the theories and the statistics and the books and the courses, everything that's out there, putting everything aside, we'll actually find all the answers that to our questions about how to be a good father, how to be a good husband in Islam. If
Yeah.
someone was to just purely stick to just Islam, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with gaining information from other sources,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if
cool.
someone, argument's sake, was to just look at Islam to learn how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, that would be enough information to be a decent father, to be a decent husband.
Bro, that's really interesting that you said that, because it's so mad, because I'm from a coaching background. So what happened is I learned a lot of coaching stuff from non-Islamic principles, and then when I drew it back to Islam now, it was already there, bro. It's like exactly what you just said. It's always been there, and in fact, Alhamdulillah, I personally think it's made my deen a lot more richer, just having the two opposites, bro. But the principles are always the same. And you're right about that fatherhood. It's Do you think that we're missing? We got the knowledge, but it's about embedding it, and it's just becoming it, and just
You
living
know,
it every single day, bro.
to be a good father,
Yeah.
um, you can't necessarily be a one-man show.
No, no, no,
You see,
definitely.
one thing we lack in, unfortunately, women say this a lot, and I'm repeating this. We
Yeah.
actually lack in communicating.
Mm.
If we actually want to do good with our kids,
Yeah.
we need to talk to our partners that look,
Mm.
we need to have an understanding between us that
Yeah.
how are we going to parent? It's because it's not just me parenting, it's not just you parenting.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to
Yeah.
be there half of the time, the other half
Yeah.
she's there. Or there
Yes.
will be a crossover where you're overlapping each other when you're together and you're
Yeah.
parenting together. Okay, so what if you're disciplining? How does should the wife react? Have I ever spoken to my wife about it? I have,
Mm.
obviously. I said, look, when I discipline, make sure it's like this or like that. Or if my daughters, especially because they're very close with their mother, they're
Yeah.
close, they love me more, anyways. But if
Alhamdulillah.
um, but there's times where sometimes if they said something rude or something that the way they should say it, they didn't say it. I don't necessarily correct them. I say to my
Okay.
wife because my kids don't understand Bengali. So I
Yeah.
say to my wife, "Do you know what? Speak to them afterwards. The way she said that, she shouldn't say it like that." So
Mm.
there needs to be it's a joint. How do you call it? It's a teamwork when you're parenting.
Yeah.
Because it's not just me, the father, coming in, I'm the man, I'm going to say, do this, do that, or I'm
Yeah.
going to parent. It needs to be a joint work. It needs to be a teamwork between the wife and the husband. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the times you will actually face genuine issues. Because if you're trying to implement something,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
but the wife is not happy with it. She's like, no, that's my way. Okay,
Yeah.
what happens then? Like, so you actually need to talk about it with your partner, how you're going to do this, how you're going to
Right.
react when she implements something, and I'm going to
Yeah.
react when, you know.
But can I hold you to that point there? That is so interesting that you've said that, because what I've come to realize in communication is this. Say for example that you got two parents trying to parent, and we're trying to come together. Ami Defsinaini that maybe one of us and the rag beshi
Yeah,
and the stubborn home, bruv. It's like, because what it is this: we have two different perspectives and two different ways of doing things, and we may not see eye to eye. And it's like, okay, so I've communicated that to you. I'm seeing things differently, but I'm getting upset. I'm getting upset because it's not ever done my way, or it's no that you don't understand me. So there's like we can talk about it, like man to man, I'm the go for them, bro. But when it comes down to our partners, it's now we get a bit defensive. you know, there's like a non-agreeance there, bro. You know, and it's like, yeah, God,
The issue is not that you won't always agree, or I won't always agree how my missus deals with the kids, or she might not always agree how
yeah,
I deal with it. I could
yeah,
get a bit heated, and I may react in a really harsh way. But
yeah,
the issue is not that. We can obviously overcome that.
yeah,
The issue is how you're dealing with it at the time. Now, if I'm putting my
yeah,
foot down and I'm
got that.
disciplining the kids, and the wife reacts, she's like, "You shouldn't do that." Now, what do the kids see?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
even mommy doesn't agree with him. He doesn't know
yeah,
what he's talking about. Or they don't, the father or the mother, whichever way, they lose that respect or that authority in front of the kids because the other person is. So if I see my wife do something that I didn't like, I'm not going to
yeah.
put them down in front of the put her down in front of the kids. I'll
No,
just
no, no.
be silent, to be honest, and
Yeah,
then talk to her afterwards in a calm way. Do you know what? What do you think of that? Do you think we could have dealt with it differently? How do you think
yeah,
dealing
yeah.
with it like this? Because you won't always agree. That's just the
No,
reality. Because
no.
we're two different people. You have two
Yeah.
different ways of thinking, the way you deal with things. Your emotions are different. So you just have to deal with it afterwards. That's the main thing.
Do you think because of that, because we've got a different way of dealing with things, it's even more important that we learn how to regulate ourselves, our emotions because of that. So it's like,
100%.
yeah, um, and see these things. We weren't taught this, and it's only until now that we have figured these things out for ourselves. Like my parents didn't get taught that, and and I didn't learn that until years down the line of my own behalf, bro. So it's like, yeah, we can talk. I understand that you got your different perspectives, your temperament's different, but whatever the case may be, I need to regulate myself. I need to regulate. Like there could be some things that you may say that may trigger me, and I got to hold back, and I got to like calm myself down. Like you know, it's one of them ones, bro. It's this is what I come to realize just through Manush Loga Gofole, bro. It's like just trying to regulate yourself because there's always going to be something that you can either trigger me with, or you know, I'm not going to see eye to eye with what you have to say, and I have to just, okay, you know what, this is just an opinion. This is just okay, that's fine. It's not a be all and end all, you know. And
Yeah,
some things
100%.
you don't even have to challenge, bro. You can just, like what you said before, some things are just best left left alone. Just let it go. Just you don't
Yeah,
have to win every single battle, bro. You know, it's
100%. But you see
yeah.
that regulation and having control over your emotions and that's something that comes with time. It doesn't come in one day but but you know
Do
the
you
thing
think so,
is,
bro? Yeah, go on.
it's
Yeah,
that's something that will come over time by
yeah,
actually putting yourself, like if I don't go to the gym, I
yeah.
can't actually become strong. The same way, if you don't actually are actively parenting, you're not going to become a better parent. Do you get
That's the
it? So you
difference. Yeah,
actively
yeah.
need to parent.
I get that. I get
And
that. Yeah,
you know, a lot of people are against it. That's why I'm thinking twice before saying it.
yeah.
Philosophy helped me a lot because if you don't have some basic understanding,
Yeah.
if you're not strong in your deen, then it can mess up with your head as well.
Go
But you
on.
know, stoicism helped me a lot when it
Bro,
came to
I'm open
emotions.
to that, bro. I'm open to all sorts, bro. Like I don't have to agree with it, but I can take the principles. Because, bro,
Yeah,
some of the principles they got in there are very Islamic, bro. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah,
It
yeah.
comes a lot of. I've seen Imam Ghazali. I've seen Sheikh al-Islam Ibn al-Qayyim
Yeah,
quotes that are very similar to Aristotle.
yeah,
So, and I believe they probably read their books. I wouldn't
yeah,
be surprised because they lived
yeah,
obviously before them.
yeah,
Because that was a thing back in the days. Philosophy was a big thing. Obviously, this is why scholars, because of their beliefs about the Greek gods and some beliefs they
yeah,
hold, they warn against it. Because I've
yeah,
met people whose head have been messed up because of philosophy. So I personally don't advise anyone on philosophy unless
yeah,
they have some genuine understanding of the deen, because it can
yeah,
play with your head quite a bit.
yeah.
But yeah, philosophy definitely, Stoicism specifically, definitely helped me learn a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
about my own emotions. Another book
Yeah,
It
bro.
should, you know, there's one thing we need to take into consideration. If
Yeah,
we
bro.
want to help our kids, if we want to be a good husband, be a good father, we need to first fix ourselves as well. So it's a
100%.
many projects happening at once, but
Yeah,
it's just unfortunately we live once. It's only one timeline, and we have to do all these things at once. And
yeah,
you know, one thing I found that I'm not that I'm perfect. Obviously, I have
yeah,
many faults. I'm becoming better father, better husband, better son.
yeah,
The more I work on myself, and there's certain uh, literature that helped me quite a bit. Like one book that I really like is called 101 Essays
okay,
by Brian Wright. It's a
okay,
female who wrote the book, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. I really like
yeah,
that book. You know, there's certain books that really affected me, had a lot of impact on me
yeah,
becoming a better or learning things about me. Because me looking after myself helps me look after. Because if I'm not well myself, how am I going to look after others that are, you know, that need my
bro.
help?
I heavily live by what you said there and preach. What I mean is, like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but what those principles that you're talking about, like constantly improving, I totally get that, bro. I totally get that. I'm just confirming what
Yeah.
you're saying, bro, and how important it is. That
Because you
point
know,
that you just said. Go on, bro.
we grow in age, we grow in features,
Yeah,
but are we growing as a human per se? Are we growing in our consciousness? Are
yeah,
we
yeah,
growing in
yeah,
our
yeah,
knowledge? Are we growing as a person? Or are we just our age is going up? Is our knowledge going up? Is our wisdom going up?
yeah.
Is the
Right,
way we
right.
deal with things becoming
See what?
better? Otherwise, I'm the same
Yeah,
person I was 10 years ago. There's all that's happened is I've become a bit older. You've got a few more gray hairs.
yeah.
Other than that, you have much more gray hairs than me, by the way.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's not wrong. You know, but see what you just said there. This you just summarized what this father and son project is about as well. It's just because we're getting older, why are we stopping? Why are we stopping in our health? Why are we stopping in our deen? Why are we just stopping? Like what you said, bro. It's we should be evolving even more and more and more. Like that doesn't stop until that we die. That is it. We keep going, bro. You know, yeah, it's amazing because this is the first time I've actually spoken to you face to face, and bro, wallah, we got so many things in common, man. Subhanallah, you know, it's
alhamdulillah. You see,
alhamdulillah.
you know why we have things in similar?
Go on, bro.
Because, you know, end of the day, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Islam is deenul fitra, meaning Islam is the deen and the religion of natural instinct. You'll find we might not think of it like that, but a lot of our
Yeah,
values, the way we think, the way we behave,
yeah,
actually comes from Islam. Do you
yeah,
get it? So the way you see the world, you see it without to think like that, but you actually see it from a perspective or narrative of Islam. Okay, this is halal, this is haram, this is good, this is bad. Allah
yeah,
said this, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that. So our values and principles and morals, unconsciously, we always align it with Islam. And
yeah,
the views we have, the reason you're saying, oh, you know, we think alike or whatever it is,
yeah,
because end of the day, a lot of our beliefs and ideas and values actually comes from Islam. And this is
yeah.
something we have in common, that you're
Yes,
Muslim and I'm Muslim, and we have our
yeah,
values that we take from Islam. And that's why we have these similarities
yeah.
in thinking.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. That's deep, bro. That's deep. Bro, so I want to ask you something else now, bro. Okay, so a lot of men carry things that they've never said out loud. Yeah. What's something you felt as a son that you've never fully expressed before, bro?
Um, Let me think about it for a second. Yeah,
Yeah. No, take your time, bro.
express to who? To my father.
Yeah, yeah. So like, say, or they could just be like, sometimes that we want to express something to our father's not there, or just or there's something inside us that's bothering us, but we just have not had the courage to express it because of the relationship that we've had from our upbringing, our
Fair enough.
father. Yeah, just or there's something that's on my chest, but I can't say it to anyone and everyone. It's just like, yeah, and it's been embedded in me since I was young, you know. And that's meant to be a conversation that I'm going to have with my dad, but because he's not around, or like, or even if he is, I want to say it, but I can't say it. Like, what is it?
You know,
Is it?
obviously with my dad, I didn't
Yeah,
have that sort of relationship where I
yeah,
could just laugh and joke with him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, got you.
I think that's the case with a lot of Asian and African families, is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have that sort of relationship. But
yeah,
you know, there's things that you see with my father over the past few years, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, relationship, and it was because I actively worked on it. It became better. It became something different than it's ever been, where
yeah,
I can talk more freely with my dad, or I'll crack a joke or something like that.
yeah,
Because my dad, I don't even look at my dad in the eye. I have so much respect for him.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Get that,
and
bro.
obviously, to say I'm scared of him, obviously,
Yeah,
that's sort of, yes, I am scared of him, but it's not out of fear, it's out of respect that I'm scared of him.
respect. Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
obviously an old man, I'm a grown guy, you know,
yeah,
in my prime. The fear is not, it doesn't come from a place of strength or, you know, whatever. It comes from a place of respect, that I don't look
yeah,
my dad in the eye.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
if I'm talking to him, I'll just look away or something and he's telling me something. So over time,
Yep.
in the past few years, I've built a relationship with my dad where I'm
Yeah.
regularly I'm actually having actual conversations and actually interacting with him, rather than just, you know, sitting there. When I go to my parents, I'm just sitting on the TV or something. I actually
I'll
ask
get,
him,
Wait,
go on.
can I ask you something about that? How did you bridge the gap? Because with my dad, when he was around, the only thing that I said to him, which was to break the ice, is "Abba, sahaitani," and that was all I ever said, and that's all I ever knew. And it was just, it didn't get past that point, bro. It was just okay, food nani aja, and then that's it. I'll just get it, and then I'll just walk off. That was it, bro. But how
You
did
know,
you bridge the gap?
the tactic I used is, the reality of us humans is we love talking about ourselves and the experiences
Yeah,
we had and what we faced in life.
yeah,
My thing is that I just ask him a lot of questions, and he loves telling me his stories. And he'll
ah,
tell me something, it's something insignificant, but I'll make
yeah,
it seem like, you know what, this is why you know, I'll give him feedback as well. Oh, this is why you do this, or this is why you do
yeah,
like that. And you know, also, if you take interest in what he takes interests in, so
okay.
you see, if my dad, he's interested in politics and like stuff
Yeah,
back home. And
yeah,
obviously, I'll ask him if he's doing a little project. Like at the moment, he's building the fifth floor of our building.
yeah,
And I'll ask him, oh, you know, how's it going? If I'm really honest, bro, I couldn't care less. But
yeah,
it makes it makes him happy.
yeah,
You know, it makes him happy, and it shows him that I take interest in what he's interested in. I said, oh, so how much did you spend on the rod, or how
yeah,
much bricks are you gonna need?
yeah,
I'm not interested in these things, but
yeah,
it's just to make him feel. Do you know what? Yeah, like I'm taking interest in what you're interested in, or
yeah,
you know, how long is it gonna take to finish, or whatever it is. And you know, people like that. And you know, some of the my dad is not one of those, you know, very outwardly showing love or emotional guy. He's a very
yeah,
stern
yeah,
man. You know, he's
yeah,
a tall. Yeah, back in the days, I remember to him to be a macho man. I mean, I've seen him fight and everything like that.
yeah, yeah,
So he's a strong guy, and he's not an emotional person. But
yeah,
you know, a bit of love. Um, he once came from Bangladesh, I believe, and I was just sleeping on the sofa, and he thought I'm sleeping, and he
yeah,
came and he gave me a kiss. That's the only time I actually remembered
yeah,
that he gave me a kiss while I was grown, when I grew up.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
know, I made a habit. Every time I go now, I give him a hug, I give him a kiss, and in our Asian family, it's not normal. But
No,
I
it's
make
not,
it.
bro.
Initially, it was like kind of like, you know, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
mom, okay, fair enough. I'll give my mom a kiss
yeah,
all day
yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah.
But dad, it's not
Regardless, yeah,
normal. But you know what? I had to break that ice. And every time I now, before I leave, I hold him, I give him a kiss. I make sure he gives me a kiss. And remember,
yeah.
I don't have that relationship with my dad for my whole of adult or even childhood
Yeah,
life. But I made it a thing, because you know why? Because Allah knows obviously who's going to go when. But
yeah, yeah,
let's just say, argument's sake, if he's not here, I'm going to regret, why didn't I kiss my dad? Why didn't I hold him that one time? And you know, he uses WhatsApp a lot. I ask him
oh,
questions. So I made a questionnaire, and I
yeah,
said, basically, I want to know more about you. We have a family group. And I said,
yeah,
tell us these things. When you get time, write it down and
yeah,
answer these questions about your life. So I gave him like something like 10 questions, and he gave these answers about him and what he wanted out of life, what he's happy with in life, what he feels the most proudest in his life, and these sort of stuff. And it shows that I'm interested in him, and I have respect for him. Because in Islam, bro, we don't need validation from anyone in our
No,
life.
no, no,
We
definitely
should
not.
simply, as
Yeah.
humans, we want to be liked. This is human
Yeah,
nature. We don't
yeah,
want to be
yeah, yeah.
disliked. No one's there
Yes,
like,
yes.
yeah, I want to be disliked by people. But if there
Yeah.
is one or two people that I genuinely want to be validated by, it's my parents. Because I
Yeah.
need to know that when they're not here, they left this earth with being happy with me. Because Allah is saying that one of them under their feet is my Jannah, another one's going to be my gate to Jannah. So
Yeah.
both of them are my doors to Jannah. I need
Yeah.
to know that my father is not angry with me. Because Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saying, whoever's father is angry with him, Allah is angry with him. Whoever's father is happy with him, Allah is happy with him. So
Yeah.
I need to know, I need that validation from my parents
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
are
It's
happy with
important.
me. And
Yeah.
those are the only two people I need validation from. And I would
But
proudly say that.
But see what you've just said there. How because we're at that stage where we don't have that now. That's missing, bro.
But this is where, again, everything comes from Islam. A
Yeah.
person, you see, when I started practicing Islam, obviously we were messing around as kids because we don't
Yeah.
come from the background. But you know what it did? It made me a better son. And initially when I started practicing,
Yeah.
the reality is everyone wasn't happy with it in one way or another. Because obviously, being young and starting practicing, you're quite harsh with things. You're
Yeah.
correcting people. Obviously, I
Yeah.
learned that, okay, that's not the way. I understood the ways. But when my parents saw that I'm actually becoming a better son,
Yeah. Yeah.
they were actually encouraging me after a couple of years, like they were helping me. They never countered like whatever I said after a certain time. Even if they didn't like it, they just, they thought, what, he's become a better son.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Islam is doing something good to him. But yeah, I went through a phase where my dad wasn't happy with me becoming strictly practicing because I was moving
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I forgot the point, bro. What we were making. I
No,
think
no,
I went on a tangent and
no,
lost
no,
the
bro.
track.
No, dude, you was talking about the Maya that you was giving your dad and how important it is to do the same for your mom and dad. And then I'll ask you a question, bro. Where do we? Because that is what is missing, that Maya that the son gives. And then the thing is, well, bro, it's like a two-way thing as well. Because I'm not that we have to do that to our kids. And then when they grow older, they'll do it to us as well. Not that we should go after it, that we want that thing, but I'm just saying as just mutual respect on that level, bro. That is missing. What you just said, because this is where the gap is, bro. Like this is why I'm doing this project, because of that gap. And you've just sort of closed the gap by the action that you've just done with your father, with the Maya, and just checking up on him, touching base from time to time, and that is missing. And that has to be a two-way thing as well, bro. Like I've got this thing that I do with my son from time to time. I touch base. Like I ask him how's things and that. Just light conversation, light question here and there. And if he feels like it, he'll open up. If he doesn't, no problem. There's no pressure whatsoever, bro. It's like those things we're missing it, man. And you just hit a nail on the head, bro. Why are you saying that? When you said that, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like I nearly teared up, bro. When you said that, you know what, bro, I kissed my dad. I asked him how's things. Inside my head, you brought me back to my childhood, bro. I thought, oh my gosh, like I wish someone had taught me this. I wish I had that kind of relationship with my dad. So
Understand that I didn't have that relationship. It's something I consciously decided to change because I don't want to have regrets.
yeah.
Because
But
we
that's
would
amazing,
hardly
bro.
talk. The only time we
That,
would talk is probably him telling me off.
yeah,
But
yeah,
alhamdulillah. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm
Oh,
very, very grateful for my father. If I could become a 1% of the man he is in, I'm set, bro. And my wife says, actually, you know what? Anyway, there's certain actions I do
yeah.
that are very much like my father, and I didn't even know.
Oh,
My
yeah,
father,
yeah,
one of the things he does every night, bro, every night, almost every night, you'll hear
yeah.
him crying and making dua in a loud voice. He'd go into his room and lock the door. And from a childhood, I've been hearing this. He
Okay.
always does that up until today. And he would also call us. Obviously, we don't celebrate Shobha Barat, but on Shobha
Yeah.
Barat days and these days, he would call us, and say, make dua with me. And he's
Yeah.
doing these actions as well. You see, and also, you see, I said, a lot of the stuff we do is learned behavior. My
Oh,
son, he's only 3, he's going to be 3. The guy is already like doing ruku and saying Allahu Akbar and praying. He gets his prayer mat. We're not going to teach a 3-year-old how to pray, are we? He's
yeah.
already
Yeah.
learned how to do ruku. He's already learned to say Allahu Akbar. He's already
Yeah.
going to sujood. Learned behavior. Something else that came to my mind.
Yeah, bro.
One thing I've seen, there's certain things you can't prove necessarily with Quran and Sunnah. However,
Yeah.
there's the reality of the world. One
Yes.
reality of the world is that if you're good to your parents,
Yeah.
your kids will be good to you. If you were bad with your parents, unless you repented,
Yeah.
your kids will be bad to you. That's
Yeah.
just the nature of it. And my father always spoke about how he was respectful towards his dad and how they used to eat together and the way he was.
Yeah.
And it just shows that I'm very grateful. I'm not saying I'm the best son in the world, but I'm very grateful, and they know that. I'm always very, try my best to be good to my parents. And I think it's because they've been good to their parents. That's why. And inshallah, if I'm good to my parent, my little son, when he goes now, my kids, my
Yeah.
dad is getting ready to go to the masjid, they'll quickly go and grab his shoes and give it to him,
Oh,
get
that's
his jacket
beautiful.
and things like this. And, if they're doing that to their dada, inshallah, hopefully one day they'll do that to me.
Yeah. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. That's beautiful, bro. Subhanallah. Oh, it's these little things I'm missing, bro. It's kind of sad. Like we're at this stage where like there's not every day or from time to time that we see these things happen. We're so far away from what all these little things that you just said. We're disconnected, bro. You know what I mean? It's only like I'm not speaking for everyone, but what I've seen, what I've encountered, and I try to be the opposite as much as possible. I try to, have that connection, that bond with all of my kids, but it's like what you said, there has to be a conscious effort that we have to apply. But when you say these things, it's kind of heartbreaking, bro. To hear, it's like, wow, this is how far that we've come. We're so disconnected. Those things that you've mentioned should just be standard, bro. You see what I'm
100%.
saying? Yeah.
But it wasn't standard for me as well. It's something that I had to work on to make it a standard now. Now that
Yeah.
every time I go to my parents, I'm about to leave the house. I'm not going to
Yeah.
leave until I've kissed my dad.
Yeah.
And it's very normal for us to say, yeah, we wouldn't even mention that we kiss our mom or give her a
Yeah.
hug. But how many of us can we say that we actually give a kiss to our dad or give him a hug?
That's it. Yeah.
And I don't stop at that. Make sure he gives it to me as well, because I need him to
Yeah.
feel that I love him. It's not because I'm not going to say I love you to him. One of the most beautiful message my dad ever sent me. I forgot why it was. I screenshotted it, then I printed it. I kept it in my file. My dad sent me, "I love you, son," in English. He sent me a message,
Wow.
and I forgot why it was he said it. But it's because we've never heard it, bro. From our dad. It's not like that. From that generation as well.
Bro, that is so rare. That is
Yeah.
proper rare.
But
It's not.
these are the result of consciously working on something.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Because I made a conscious decision that I'm going to improve my relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
And, and alhamdulillah, it's doing good. I could do better. I 100% I could do much more. Obviously, life gets on the way, unfortunately. I have my own family, work, and they don't live far, so I could always visit them more. But I make sure, I have a set time every day at least. I have to call them, and I make sure I call them at least once a day. They call me. We have family groups, so there's always conversations going on.
Wow. Bro, you indirectly answered my question that I was gonna ask you, which was
What is
if there was one message you could leave for sons growing up in today's world, especially struggling silently, what would you want them to know? And those actions you've answered there. It's just like to be more conscious, make more effort. But do you also think that's a two-way thing as well, though, bro? Like, I can't expect my son to make more effort with me if I don't make effort with him. Who is the one who has to usually initiate, like in terms of just directing that relationship, nurturing it? It's usually us, bro, isn't it? You know.
You see, I'll say it in a different way.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Um, you see, we're too busy. Most of our relationship. It doesn't have to be necessarily son and a father, or husband and wife, or father
Yeah,
and kids. You see, it comes back to Islam.
yeah,
Um, when it comes to these things, like maintaining relationship is a big one in Islam.
yeah,
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 keeping up
yeah,
relationship, maintaining relationships.
yeah,
Allah won't ask that did you get your rights. Allah will ask me, did I give the other person's right? Allah won't ask me, did I get my rights from that person?
yeah, yeah. I get that.
So the way our mindset should be about this is, I shouldn't think, oh, the other person is not doing it, so I'm not going to do it. Let me just do my bit. Probably
Yeah,
he'll open up as well, or she'll open up as well.
yeah,
So we should be doing what we should be doing with our parents, whether we get it back or not. Because remember,
yeah,
our people, especially from Bengali, Sylheti people,
yeah,
funny thing is, there isn't even a word for thank you in Sylheti. It's a Urdu or something word
yeah,
they use. So
yeah,
our language, our people's language is very different. Do you know the Sylheti word for thank you?
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
What is it? What
Yes,
is
the
it?
accent. Oh, thank you, thank you. That's
No,
it.
but do you know the translation for thank you in Sylheti?
No, no, bro. I don't like
It doesn't
Shukriya.
exist.
Or does it
Shukriya,
exist?
but the word shukriya is not even a Sylheti word. It's from
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
like
It's just
shukur,
mixed with
probably
it.
from Arabic.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
get it?
yeah, yeah. That's
So
right.
our language is different. Our people don't even have it, because the way we say thank you is not by
Yeah,
just mere words.
yeah,
I'll show you how thankful I am by cooking you a meal, for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
or by
yeah, yeah,
inviting you to a thing, or giving you a gift. That's our way of saying thank
yeah,
you, or speaking well of you. So our parents, they speak a different language than us. We're more
yeah,
vocal. We have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
vocabulary to explain our feelings. So I shouldn't think, is my mom or is my dad, uh, he's not saying I love you to me, so I'm not going to say I love you to him. No, why
yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah,
Say it. Don't let, just because he's not saying it, just because he's not speaking, or you take interest, you make it work. You take the conscious action to improve your relationship with your father. And if he's not around, it's also Islam teaches, if your father is not around, then it should be that their the direct families, their brothers,
yeah.
their sisters, that you're good to. If not them, then their friends that you speak to, you show them respect. And there's a hadith about it as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
you
I
know,
hear that, bro.
um, and the best thing you can do for your parents, if they're not
Yeah,
around, is be a good Muslim. That's the best
yeah.
thing you can do. Because they'll get a portion of the reward.
But that is so interesting that you said um, the cultural mannerisms, the norms, how they say thank you is to show it through food. And by they also say sorry through that way as well, bro. Like when like that my ruigele, dorvaruigele, like I chow bat khao, salon khao. Like they'll never verbalize it. But bro, the crazy thing is, bro, through this when it came down to raising my son, I never ever told him I love him. I only learned how to verbalize it through when my wife used to say, I love you, I love you. It became like she always used to say it every single day to my children, to everyone. And they started to say it to me. And then I started to say it to them back. At first it felt weird, bro, because I wasn't used to that. Because how I got brought up was just to show love. Don't say it, show it. And that's all I knew. That is all my dad taught me. He would show me love in his way, which was to do action, not to verbalize it. But then when I said it felt weird. But then now I'm just saying it just comes off the top of my tongue now. But you're so right about the cultural language. There's a cultural language. Do you know what I mean, bro? So it's mad.
You know,
What's here is the opposite. You can verbalize it, but the action's missing as well. I think that we've
yeah,
got to sync the two together now, bro. Now we've gone from one extreme to another, and now it's just about bridging it now. Yeah, so that's
100%.
really interesting that you said that, bro. Find that
You know,
fascinating.
it's very important that with my daughters, like, you know, obviously, alhamdulillah, my family is quite strict. We don't free mix in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
My wife is not like that,
yeah,
niqab, gloves, and everything like that. Inshallah, my kids are going to be like that as well, where they're not going to be in unnecessary contact with men.
yeah,
And the issue is with my daughters, I'll say first, if I
yeah,
don't
bro.
show that love and the kind words and the,
Yeah,
the sort of messing around, joking
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
them, showing them my emotions, even
yeah,
showing them my vulnerability,
yeah,
becoming friends with them, you know what's going to happen, bro? When they go out into the world, the first man that gives them a bit of kind word, they're going to fall for them.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
not used to that because
yeah, yeah,
they're emotional. They're created like that. Someone says, "Oh, you look pretty today, bro." I make sure my daughters know that how pretty they look.
yeah,
I make
yes,
sure they know how beautiful their hair is,
yes,
how
yes,
nice they smell,
yeah, yeah,
how
yeah,
beautiful they look in certain colors.
yes,
I'm actively looking for ways to praise them and how
yes,
beautiful they are and so
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Because tomorrow when they go out there, if a boy approaches, I mean, I'm going to break their legs anyways if they do that.
yeah,
But if a boy approaches them,
yeah,
then they, that wouldn't be the first time a man has complimented them. And they're
yeah,
going to be okay. They'll take it. I don't know, obviously, how they're going to react to it, but they'll take it as a
yeah.
compliment and move on, not fall
Yeah.
for it emotionally, per se.
That's the difference, isn't it,
Um,
bro? Yeah, I get that.
so it's very important that we give that to our daughters, that they hear that I love you. They hear the kind words and the nice words. So they're used to that stuff because they're not going to get that outside. And I don't want them to, fall into, I want them to be strong individuals even when they go out into the world. And
Yeah,
also for the sons, yeah, I'll say something, it's a bit controversial.
yeah, boy.
Um, I work in an industry where I come in contact with a lot of people who are from the, you know what, leave that. It's going to cause issues. It's a bit controversial. You
It's
won't
all
be able
good,
to
bro.
post that anyway, so it's going to cause issues.
It's
So,
all good, bro. It's all good, mate. Yeah.
the sons,
What,
they look for validation, and a lot of people.
yeah,
I'll word it differently.
yeah,
Look, I've spoken to a lot of people who are people of the LGBT community, and
yeah,
one
yeah,
thing that I've seen that's common, very common.
yeah,
Literally, I've spoken to uncountable amount of them.
yeah, mate.
Majority of them, if I haven't come across one yet that they had a good relationship with their father, almost all of them either had a weak dad who was no
Yeah,
discipline, always just validating everything and just giving them everything one or do whatever you want, or the dad wasn't around, or there wasn't a present dad per se, or they had a really abusive dad and they hated men completely. And and even with the boys, if they don't get that from their dad, that male validation per se,
yeah,
some of them end up seeking validation in a certain nature
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
down the
yeah,
line.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it can have effects that goes against our religion. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's how deep. Yeah, that's deep. That's really deep, bro. Like, there's extremes of that, man. Wow.